Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Wednesday. Also, welcome to October. We are in a brand new month, October 1st, and it definitely doesn't feel like it outside, but that's all right. We'll get there. I'm Kelsey Marier, your host and producer for Morning Pulse, where you get your weekday local headlines at 8:30 every morning in the southern Minnesota and northern Iowa regions. So I'm happy to bring you these local headlines today. We did just get kind of a last-minute story in that I want to bring to you throughout this little mini newscast, or fast cast as we like to call it, here in our digital studio. So I am your host and producer, trying to get you all the headlines you need to know for your day ahead on this Wednesday, October 1st. So let's get started. We do have 4 headlines to bring you today across northern Iowa and southeast Minnesota, and kind of all of Minnesota as well. We have one story that pertains to everybody in the Gopher State. Okay, so we're going to actually start in North Iowa with kind of a tragic story that we learned last night, and are kind of bringing you the news of this story today. So we are learning this morning that a man has died after a landslide crashed into his home. This was in rural Alameda County. Again, this is northern Iowa. So the sheriff's office received a call around 10:40 Tuesday morning that a hillside had actually slid down into a home. This was near Red Oak Road. So when first responders arrived to the scene, they found a 76-year-old man who had been inside that home and had been hit by a large rock. They say a number of rocks actually rolled down the hill from the property next door. One of those rocks ended up crashing into the back wall of this man's home, and it hit him, and he died. No word right now on that victim's name, but this landslide incident is currently under investigation. So kind of a tragic story out of northern Iowa. And once we get any new details about the victim or anything else in this investigation, we will be sure to let you know on air, online, and on our KTTC News mobile app. All right, our second story, we are heading into Rochester for kind of an update to a story that we've been following for a while on a civil lawsuit between a doctor and Mayo Clinic. So both of those parties are set to meet again in January for a final pre-trial hearing. Now, the doctor we're talking about is Michael Joyner. He alleges that the medical giant, Mayo Clinic, took disciplinary actions against him for, quote, problematic statements that he made to the media when sharing about his research. So there was a pretrial hearing on Tuesday where that gave the opportunity for attorneys to kind of make any more pretrial requests before this case officially goes before a jury in February of next year. So attorneys are continuing to make their side's arguments right now, but the damages that Dr. Joyner will be seeking is going to be determined during trial. We just want to let you know that a little bit of an update there. We know that there'll be one last pretrial hearing come January before the trial actually gets underway in February. And again, this is for the civil lawsuit between Mayo Clinic and Dr. Joyner. All right, next up, we have a story back in northern Iowa. Officials there actually want to better understand where residents stand in terms of food access and food insecurity. So CG Public Health, which is based in Mason City, has opened up kind of a short survey to get your insight into the community, kind of identify some gaps and find solutions to help improve hunger across the region. So the CG Public Health is putting on this community food survey. It's open to all residents who live in northern Iowa. There is a QR code that you have to scan to take that survey. We do have that QR code for you on our website, KTTC.com, as well as on our mobile app. So you can go there and scan that if you want to take part in this survey. And then the results are going to be used by public health officials and some local organizations to help just better address the community needs when it comes to food access, food insecurity, hunger in northern Iowa. So you have the rest of this month to kind of share your thoughts and take part in the survey. Again, that goes through all of October, and you can find the QR code where you can find the survey itself on our website, kttc.com. And last but not least, our final story of the morning was kind of the last minute one that I was just adding in. This has to do with Minnesotans in general, so all of Minnesota here. We're talking about Minnesota's cold weather rule. It is officially now in effect as of today. This is all across the state. I know it might not feel like we need a cold weather rule right now because it feels like it's still summer out, but it is going into effect today, or it has gone into effect today. This is what this rule kind of gives utility customers a little bit of peace of mind as we're transitioning into winter and those colder months. So if you're unaware of what this rule is, under the rule today through April 30th, again, that's next year, homeowners and renters are protected from any service disconnections if it were to impact their primary heating source. Of course, this is all to help keep people here in the state of Minnesota warm and safe, especially in our cold winter months. So the state actually requires all natural gas and electric utilities to offer this protection to people living here. The rule, however, does not apply to delivered fuels. So that's oil and propane or wood. So just keep that in mind. Customers will need to contact their utility company to set up a payment plan if they do receive a disconnection notice. But just wanted to make sure that was on your radar, that starting today, the cold weather rule for Minnesotans across the state, kind of giving people a peace of mind when it comes to transitioning into the winter months and not having to worry about your utility services being disconnected if that is your primary heating source. So just wanted to let you know about that rule going into effect. Of course, that obviously impacts all Minnesotans. But on that note, obviously right now it does not feel anything like winter, even though we're talking about transitioning into colder months here pretty soon. We are still in pretty much a end of summer warm spell right now, which again, I'm not complaining, but definitely I know there are people that are ready for the kind of fall temperatures, ready for the seasons to actually start to change and feel that change rather. So we do have several more days, including today, of warm, peaceful, calm weather, warmer than normal. And then come next week, we're definitely going to see probably a 20 degree drop in temperatures, but not cold. That's actually going to put us right in the average area. So nothing to worry about there. It'll be in the mid 60s, but that's normal for this time of year. We're just going to have a couple more days of this summer-like heat to enjoy before it goes away for several months. Who knows when the 80s or anything like that is going to be back, probably in the spring or the summertime next year. So that is all I have in the news and weather departments here for your Wednesday, October 1st. Like to keep this fast, under 10 minutes if we can. So we are just about coming up on that time. And so I'm going to let you get back to whatever you're doing. I hope these news headlines and weather headlines were helpful for you. And I hope to see you right back here tomorrow for another edition of Morning Pulse.